I gotta make a record that makes everybody stop right now and say, who's this guy 50 Cent? Right now, who is this guy, you know? And then the creative part, I got $65,000 in advance from Columbia. $50,000 went to Jam Master Jay to negotiate the release from JMJ Records. $10,000 went to the attorney that drew the contracts up between me and Columbia and the release between me and Jam Master Jay. They left me with $5,000, and I was out there for over a year before the record came out. So I was back selling crack. How else you gonna provide? How else would I provide for myself and then be on call and able to be in the studio whenever the company called me to actually be there? I'll explain it. At the time, I'm on Columbia Records. I got a release date coming, and there's no buzz surrounding the record. When you're in my situation, there's no plan B. You know, it's music or we sell crack, because that's what we did before we did music. You understand what I mean? And in that environment, it may seem harsh, even when I say exactly what it is, you know, but that's what it is. That's what we did before we had the opportunity to do music. So it's a blessing. I am so happy to be where I'm at now that, you know, I would never, I would feel like I would be hustling backwards to go into doing something like that at this point. But at that particular time, that was what was provided for us to provide for ourselves in that environment. So that's what we did. And when you don't have an option, it absolutely has to work.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for stopping, watching this video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Omega Classic Records is the page and the name. Omega, none rhymes greater. You'll see. Wow, 50 Cent, 65K, Columbia Records. The labels don't give a fuck about you. Okay, so let me tell you what you are when you sign a deal. You are an asset to a business, okay? If you don't know what an asset is, look it up. It's an item that is of value. If your car is paid off in full, which some people do have cars paid in full, that car is now an asset. Excuse my voice. You can turn around and you can sell that car and liquidate it and turn it into cash. All right, if you got a dead iPhone around your house somewhere that, you know, doesn't work no more, or it works, but you don't have it on your new plan because you got a new iPhone, that's an asset. A lot of iPhones hold their value. You can turn around and sell it, get some money for it. You're a human asset when you sign a deal to a record label, especially if you have no leverage. You're an asset anyway, but when you have no leverage, yeah, like you're a big time asset. So here's 50 Cent signing a deal with this record label that doesn't really believe in him, but signed him because of the street buzz that he's collected over the period of time from dropping so many mixtapes. If you don't know about 50 Cent, go back and research the catalog. He's dropped tremendous mixtapes. One of my favorite is the one that's like the last one before he gets to deal with Aftermath. That's the one where he's got the gun and the cross is hanging off of the gun in his hand. What's the name of that, man? Guess Who's Back? And it's got songs on there like that. It's best you be a gentleman and you watch what you say. He got that on there. He got the NYPD, LAPD, NYP, the shit about Ja. He's got that ghetto Quran on there. He got the one skit on there, you know, that I love. You know, he's talking about the coke. He said, planes crashed into the building. Damn coke price went up 10 grand this fucking year. So I ain't heard the album in a minute, but I can hear it in my head. That's like his last mixtape that he released before the Get Rich or Die Trying transition with Aftermath and Dr. Dre and Shady, I think it's Shady Records. Forgive me if I'm wrong, put it in the comments. So even before we talk about any signing, we're really not gonna talk about that because you know 50 Cent's history. But what we talking about is how a record label gave this man $65,000 in an advance. He's supposed to use that for an album with this record label, but instead it had to be used to get out of a contract with Jam Master Jay, of which he was signed to, and then pay attorney's fees, and then he's left with $5,000. That is some fucked up shit. That's beyond bullshit. To me, that is a step away from indentured servitude. Yeah, like how is he supposed to do anything with the product that you guys want him to recoup that $65,000 with? You guys don't know what a recoup is. That means you gotta pay back that advance. So are you guys thinking that you go get a deal and they give you $200,000 $1,000 or they give you $500,000. That's just debt. Record labels are nothing but banks financing you for music. You gotta pay it back. And then once you recoup, then you go into sales. Then you go into making some kind of revenue. But hold on, because you don't get paid directly after that. Record label gotta take their percentage of the sales. And whoever else is involved in that deal to make your project or your brand go, they get their cut too. Some artists got 2, 3, 4 hands in their pocket before they got their own in their pocket. So here we have this man who comes straight from the streets. You know his story. If you seen Get Rich or Die Trying, you can gauge that close to 50's story and then listen to the music and add in the blanks. So he come from the street. He come from selling cocaine. This man's mama taught him how to sell cocaine basically by just watching her move. He makes it to the point of where he's in these offices, these corporate entities. He gets a deal in advance from Columbia Records, and it ain't even enough to cover the bills in order to start the project. So he's left with nothing else but to do all that he's known and all that he's been doing since he was a boy. Sell cocaine. Listen, man, this shit is not a game. Once you start rapping, you are in business. A lot of y'all do not realize that. A lot of y'all are not ready for business. Y'all are just musicians. Y'all are just artists. I too was just an artist at one point in time. But then I stepped away and I had to build on that business aspect. I went to school. I got educated. I have a degree to understand business realms and understand contracts and laws. You have to educate yourself. You don't have to go to school, but you can hit up YouTube University, which is free, and educate yourself on the business of being a rapper, on the business of being a singer, on the business of being a producer. Otherwise, you're subject to go sign a deal and you're going to get fucked over, just like countless of artists in our history has. We can go all the way back to Lil Richard. If you haven't seen my Lil Richard video, go check it out. Go look at how they fucked Lil Richard and gave him for the hottest song that still gets placement in syncs. Syncs is when they put your song in film and other places where it's with visuality. Tutti Frutti on Rudy. Song that been through all kind of movies and everything else. That man was getting like 1/3 of a cent per song or some shit like that. 1/3 of a cent. 1/3. If I took a penny, I don't have one, and I cut it into 3 slices like a pizza and took 1 slice out, that was Lil Richard. 1/3 of a cent. So watch those videos because they tell a lifetime of theft and robbery with an ink pen by these record labels over these artists. All right. So, but 50 is in a hell of a predicament. And what he doesn't say in this video, he will go on after the Columbia situation. He will get shot 9 times. And I don't have the documentation in front of me to tell you the dates and times, but he will get shot up. And then Columbia Records is like, oh, because once again, you're an asset when you're an artist and you sign a record deal, you sign a contract, you're an asset. Columbia Records is like, oh, you know, you dangerous. You really are a gangster. You done got yourself shot and almost killed. We scared to do business with you. We trying to figure out how we can drop your ass and get our money back. But as of right now, you shelved. He already had to wait about a year for the process to release the music. He got all kind of music already. Hella mixtapes, hella shit over there with Jam Master Jay. But he got to get shelved because he done got shot. The companies want a real nigga package, but then they don't really want the stuff that comes along with the real nigga. So now that's why you got today where it's a lot of horseplay and a lot of artists that are more so by the design of reality instead of being reality they self. So yeah, man, you know, I mean, what kind of person are you? Because that's what it comes back down to. Are you an independent person? Are you a person that wants to go sign a deal? I'm not totally knocking deals because if you walk in that room with leverage, then you can make some stuff move. Go and study Russ. He's a great case study for someone who walked into a record label with leverage and was able to gain something out of the situation instead of just getting purely screwed over like a lot of artists do in that situation. But what kind of person are you? You want to be independent? You want to do this on your own and do it the right way and keep more value of yourself when you do hit that sweet spot? Click the link down below in the description and join this Group 82 class where you can learn how to market your music the right way on social media and build a great foundation up underneath you. Otherwise, you subject to shit like this. You go sign a deal, they give you old $50,000, $60,000 advancement. You're supposed to use that to live off of, to pay for your beats, pay for your recording time, pay for your appearance because you got to look decent in your videos, and pay for everything else that it costs to make the music. Depending on what city you in, you could be paying for transportation. If you in New York, most people take transportation by way of taxi and by way of Ubers and shit. You got to pay for all that to get to the studio. You got to pay for everything just to make the record, just to get to the microphone. What are you? You independent made, or you ready made for somebody else to steer your career? Leave the comments in the box down below. You know what's up, all right? Thanks for stopping by. Omega Classic Records is the page and the name. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. We need more artists to get a hold of this page so that they can get a hold of the knowledge and so that they can educate themselves if they want to be independent and truly steer the wheel of their destiny and not let some corporate jackass run you into a wall, because all they care about is money. If you don't have no leverage, you don't have no control. Leave your comments in the comment box. I appreciate you. Make sure that you click that link once again down there in the description if you want to sign up for that course I told you about. And like, subscribe, and share. It's your boy Omega. I'm out. Peace.